Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you watched my pre-training and week 1 training video, then thank you so much for coming back to see how I'm getting on a few weeks later down the line. I've actually tried to record this video multiple times. I was originally going to try and do a video a week and update weekly on how I'm feeling, how I'm getting on, but actually it kind of turned out that I didn't have that much to talk about on a weekly basis, so I've decided to split this up into 5-week chunks instead. So this is kind of just reflecting on week 1 to 5 so far, and then I'm going to do another video that reflects on week 5 to 10, 10 to 15, and then obviously week 16 is marathon week. In terms of training, obviously on my week 1 video I talked about doing 4 runs a week. This is actually just to the plan. I do 4 runs a week every single week, and the distance each week has increased until week 14 and 15, which is where I start to taper, and then week 16 is marathon week, which is coming around so fast. So in terms of like the total weekly mileage that I've done each week, so week 1 was nice and easy with a nice 15 miles. I say easy, I probably didn't find it easy at the time. Week 2 was up by 1 mile to 16, and then 17 for week 3, 19 for week 4, and 21 miles in total for week 5, with the long run that week actually being the first 10 miler, so getting into double digits there. So I've had a few goals that I've kind of set myself and things to focus on over the first 5 weeks of training, and the first one is stretching. So this sounds like a really obvious thing that people should do before and after every run, but being completely honest, it's something that I always overlooked. I never stretched before a run, I never stretched after a run, and actually I found that I was getting really tight calves, and on the longer runs my legs were just getting so stiff that actually I had to implement stretching into my routine. And I have to say, it's obviously, like I said, such a silly thing to not do, but it's really changed my runs, and I now stretch before every run, and after a long run I've started stretching as well, and it makes such a difference. When you can't walk up the stairs, you have a good stretch and then you're all good. Another thing that I wanted to really focus on is nutrition. So I was trying to, actually, I'll be honest, when I first started training for a marathon, my actual initial goal was weight loss, and I just think now that that was the completely wrong thing to focus on. But I was like, oh my god, this is going to be great, like I want to lose weight anyway, I'm training for a marathon, is going to be a perfect opportunity, the two will go hand in hand. But actually you've really got to fuel yourself for the runs, otherwise you're just going to fall flat. So actually weight loss has kind of become, it's still a goal, but it's a bit more on the back burner, and actually what I've been trying to focus on is actually really giving my body the right nutrients that it needs, upping the protein, and just trying to kind of balance those macros as best as I can. I will be honest, I'm not perfect at it, but I'm definitely more conscious of what I'm eating and how much I'm eating as well. And then kind of this goes a little bit hand in hand with nutrition, but also like hydrating and fueling myself on a run. So again, I'm the type of person that would go out for like a 10-mile run, not take any water, just take one gel and be like, I'll be fine. And to be fair, I was, but now I'm hitting those like higher mileage weeks, I just can't do that anymore. So I've always been really rubbish at being able to have a drink and eat whilst running, particularly gels. I get like really sweaty hands, I can't open them. Same with when I've got gloves on, and I will slow down my pace because I basically have to stop to be able to open it and consume it. So what I've been trying to do is find different things that work for me, and using those squishy bottles actually really helps as well. So I've got much better at drinking whilst running, and I'm still working out the nutrition, the kind of like food side. So I will take a gel before I start my run, but in terms of taking gels whilst running, it's something that doesn't really work for me. So on my 10-mile run, I actually tried these energy bites, which are just little like jelly kind of sweets with caffeine in them. However, when I got back from that run, I had the worst stomachache I have ever had, and I don't know if it was just a coincidence or it's because of those energy bites, but I'm actually now too scared to try them again. So they're kind of like going in the bin, but I've got some ideas of things that I can try in the coming weeks, so hopefully I'll find something that works for me. But I do take a gel before I go out, and then obviously like try and keep up the carb intake throughout. So I will try something else and I'll let you know how I get on with that. And then the final thing that I'm really trying to focus on is a positive mindset. So I know I touched in my previous video on the book and how it really kind of trains you about your mental preparation as well as physical preparation. And what I really like is that it's got loads of other tips and tricks and like experiences from other people that have done that training. But in each week it kind of gives you different things. So in week 2, for example, it kind of says like, oh, when something negative happens, tell yourself, but that doesn't matter. And I know that again sounds really silly, but it kind of worked for me. I've been like, I think people stress a lot about little things, and it's actually made me think, well, okay, but that's not really that important, or that doesn't really matter because this has happened instead, or it's just trying to see like the kind of silver lining and have a bit more of a positive outlook. And then week 5 actually kind of tells you about training your mind to visually picture things and to be able to, when you're really struggling, kind of turn on that image and be like, no, I'm running like an athlete. And I mean, it's crazy, but it's things that like when I've been running and I've found a run particularly difficult, I've been like, oh, I'm just thinking about like, think that I'm an athlete for a second, and you can almost see your legs flying and it makes you feel like that is you for a second. And I do think that these tips throughout the book are really helping. So yeah, the more positive mindset that you have in kind of life, I think the more positive you'll be about the marathon training in general. And my final good thing actually is that by week 3, I actually had a notification on my watch that my resting heart rate, my respiratory rate, and my walking heart rate had all decreased, and they have stayed the same ever since. So actually, even by week 3, I had made progress on my kind of like physical health, which is amazing. That's kind of it. That is my summary in a nutshell for weeks 1 to 5. And obviously, like I said, I will come back and I will make a video at week 10 with how I'm getting on. But week 10 will be scary because I think by then I would have hit 16 miles at least, possibly 18 as my long run. So I'm sure I'll have a lot to say by then. But thank you so much for watching again, and hopefully I will see you soon. Bye.